All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gold Rush GG, this lovely Twitch channel where we do these Rush Hour weekly Rocket League talk shows. And if you're wondering when the gameplay starts, it's never, because we don't do that on Rush Hour. It's just talking. So if that's not your thing, get out of here. But anyway, I'm here with Subin, Moopy, and Grant as usual. We've got an epic show lined up. We're going to be talking about DreamHack. We're talking about the Afterthought move that sent shockwaves throughout the community. And then also Tainted Minds. They got picked up by a new org. I saw that on Reddit. I don't know how big of a deal that is. And then we have the Freestyle, which is where we're going to talk about all the stuff we want to talk about. And we'll also be able to interact with chat and everything.
Yep.
So, but first on the board, we are going to be talking about DreamHack, but in the 10 seconds, is there anything you guys have to say?
Hello, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Victory Royale. Let's get started.
Oh, yeah. That was sick. That was so sick, actually. But anyway, we're going to jump right into things. DreamHack Leipzig, guys. It was a blast. And also, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know what happened at DreamHack Leipzig, then tune away right now.
Yes,
we'll give you a couple
close
seconds.
your eyes and ears and nose, I guess. I don't know.
But stay.
But stay. Give us the views.
All right, your time is up. I'm getting ready to click everything. Everything's going to get spoiled.
Uh-oh.
All right, here we go. And CJ Link is in chat, by the way. CJ Link, the only tournament admin who made everything happen. So anyway, guys, it was a pretty insane weekend. It was a lot of fun. Dignitas destroyed.
They brought it all together.
So cool.
They brought it all together.
Yes, it was so epic watching Dignitas play. It was just such a battle. I guess I'll start a little bit with the non-Rocket League stuff. You guys can chime in whenever you want. Sure. Well, okay. I actually was casting it, so I flew out to Germany. Yes, I know, it's crazy, right? So we had to fly out to Germany. I went from SFO to Frankfurt to Leipzig. So it honestly wasn't that bad.
I have one question.
What's up?
How was the sparkling water?
I didn't try any sparkling water the whole time I was there.
Oh my gosh.
But the one thing I did do is, like, my favorite thing. Well, first I'll just start off with the trip. Me and Jorby met up at SFO. Like, I'm just sitting there walking around by the gate where we have, and I walked past a homeless person in the airport. It was really weird. But then he said James, and I looked at him, and it was Jorby. It was Jorby with this nasty beard,
bro.
And so anyway, that's how I saw Jorby. We had an easy flight the whole way.
Oh, man.
And then as soon as we landed, like 14 hours, or it was 17 hours of travel, even longer for him because he had to go from Burbank to SFO. Then, he had many more flights. But the first thing we did when we landed was we dropped our stuff off in the hotel and we went to get schnitzel.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have a choice.
Exactly.
There's the path straight from the plane to the schnitzel.
Yeah, it was
schnitzel
and it was pretty good.
Store.
It was pretty good. It's like the best way I can describe it is it's like a German country fried steak. Kinda.
Yeah. There's like a local, well,
Wiener
really
Schnitzel,
local.
right?
I love
No.
steak.
There's this German restaurant over in a few minutes north. Like, oh my god, it's so good. And that's the first place I've ever had schnitzels, and I'm like, this is what this is.
It is pretty good.
I thought it was some sort of pastry or something.
I thought it was too. I thought it was like a pretzel or something.
No,
I don't know.
It's like tenderized
because
meat.
Wiener Schnitzel isn't the logo for Wiener Schnitzel, the like fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
It's a pretzel.
Yeah.
Right? I think.
They fooled us.
They debated us. But so anyway, that was pretty good. The one thing I screwed up though is I got French fries because we went to this place called Schnitzel Culture in downtown Leipzig, and they had like 100 different schnitzels that you could choose from.
That's ridiculous.
And it was too much to think about. So I just went with the first one on the list. And it came with
classic.
Yeah, it came with French fries. Jorby got one that was like Le Cordon Bleu, which had like cheese and bacon and stuff in it. So, but anyway, we did that. We went over to the venue. We got lost on the way to the venue. Esports Corey gave us horrible directions, and then he got upset at us because we didn't read the instructions that told us exactly where to go. But once I was over there, I had no data. But anyway, like the whole days that we were there, it was like wake up, go to rehearse, or eat breakfast. The breakfast was incredible. They had these crazy things at breakfast every day.
Like what?
Like they had this giant, it's like a heated bologna thing, like a giant heated bologna.
Like a
I don't know what it is. It's German meats, dude. They had a whole bunch of fruits. They had like marmalades and jams. And
that's
croissants
big, that's
and breads.
big in Europe.
Yeah, and they had it where you put it in like a little like ice cream cone type thing, and it was really good. But my favorite thing about the waking up over there was going to get the breakfast. Like the breakfast was the best meal of the day. But then we just had like super long days. But it was pretty cool. This was the most stacked tournament of all time.
I can't wait to be able to afford to start going to these LANs.
Dude, this one would have been the one to go to. Like if I was just a visitor, every single RLCS team was there. Every single RLCS team. The only team that wasn't really there that's kind of RLCS was the Chiefs, but they're not really technically RLCS. They compete in a tournament that has bids to get into the World Championship.
Right.
But we would consider them, I guess, an RLCS team. But it was so cool. It was a lot of fun. Got to hang out with the players and stuff after it for a little bit, but I was dragging ass because of the time difference, jet lag, and everything. But let's talk more about the tournament.
Yes, because this is the part that me and Moopy actually know more about.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't
remember
really
that trip much.
Dude, they did have mozzarella sticks. I think CJ said it. They had mozzarella sticks for breakfast one day.
Must be nice.
It was.
Must
But
be
anyway,
nice.
sorry. Let's talk about the important stuff. Don't worry, that's just the garage door opening.
I need a haircut.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well,
I just don't want to
you
go
look great.
because I'm
Okay, you guys are not being helpful. All right, we'll start off with the group stages. So I don't know
Yes.
how much you guys watched, but there were essentially 4 group stages.
It was a lot, and it started at 3 a.m. for us.
Yeah, and remember when we
So-
said that we thought Group A was the group of death? And
I mean,
and then I think Gibbs and Achieve said they thought Group C was.
Group C. Can you take a look?
So yeah, both.
Okay.
So both teams kind of like there were some surprises, right? TSM getting beat by EG,
I would have to agree on Group C, actually.
and then also TSM.
Remember
getting
you
beat by
said that
MCon.
Complexity was likely going to be an underdog that people didn't expect.
Yes,
They
I
did
did
quite well.
They did pretty good. Like there was some pretty insane results from this tournament. Like most notably, Rogue 3-0ing Savage on stage. That was the first game that I casted. I think
that is wild. Even though Savage did so well later on, probably had the highlight match of the whole tournament with Dignitas.
Yeah. But so Rogue, they lost 3-0 or they beat Savage 3-0. And then they ended up going out in the group stage to Mindset. So this was, and they got reverse swept apparently. So these were games like I wish we would have had an alternate stream or like honestly, if one of the observer or spectator or attendees were there, they should have just like streamed it on their like phone or something.
I found it really strange. I don't really think this is a little off topic, but I found it really strange there was no German stream. There was like French and Spanish and English and no German.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, a lot of that stuff is people reaching out, wanting to provide those. So I don't know how much of it was DreamHack organizing the multiple language broadcasts and then people volunteering.
Oh, okay.
And we also have CJ Link in chat, who is who was like tournament admin for DreamHack, so he can also answer a bunch of questions for people too. But the group stage was awesome. I loved all the games that we got to see. I would have loved to see all the games that happened off stream because like Tainted Minds, they went through, they beat Splice in the first round 3-0. I would have loved to see that. And then they also got in over Wind and Rain 3-0. Like for me, Tainted Minds, like I was worried about, this is the most stacked LAN ever. I knew there was going to be huge upsets. And so I was looking to see if Tainted Minds could hang coming from super far away, super stacked tournament. And this just again reinforces that OCE is a contender. Like these guys are here to stay. Tainted Minds, they're a good team. They almost took out NRG. It went all the way to Game 5. So that was amazing.
Now,
I love that.
Not every game got streamed. Yes?
No, very few games
Very
got
few,
streamed.
right. Okay, so
compared to all the group games.
Is there anywhere that either the replays or something is going to be available for people to actually catch up on that and see that? Because I think a lot
somebody
of people,
asked if there was going to be replays.
at least replays.
Will there be DreamHack replay files?
I'm sure people would be super interested to see exactly how things actually turned out.
There's no. Yes, there will be replay files. CJ Link. Look at that. Most of them are. There are also a lot of scrims, though, so I'll be going through them after I get home and clearing out the scrims before posting.
Let's go.
So, CJ Link, MVP. But,
Thank you.
so group stage, big surprises. Rogue going out. So this Group A was kind of a group of death. Savage went pretty far. But
it's hard to
they were
judge how this
honestly
all went.
they were all kind of groups of death, honestly.
There's a lot of 3-0s I'm noticing, and I wonder if that's Rocket League going more towards playstyles countering other playstyles, and it's just a matter of where you placed and who you faced. Because, I mean, Rogue 3-0ing Savage? Like, where could that
Yeah, I
come
don't think
from?
Savage got. Yeah, Savage was like dominating
AJ,
too.
man.
But keep in mind that first, like, it was
AJ.
literally the first game of the day that they played. It was like first game. Alpha's a young kid, first time ever playing on stage. He was playing on a laptop his entire Rocket League career before playing on the stage. Yeah, 60 hertz, shit tier
No.
laptop.
What?
I'm not kidding. Yeah.
What a god.
Oh, my.
So Alpha, like,
So then he plays worse when he
well, I
finally
mean,
gets
I think I'm just saying, like, that's. I don't know how much
Shit system.
how much weight to put on that game, right?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
He needed more practice in that environment to actually get acclimated, you know, as you can put it.
For sure.
That makes sense.
And then, and I'm not saying laptops are crap. I'm just saying at the pro level Rocket
A lot
League.
of laptops are
At
crap.
pro level Rocket League, if you're playing on a laptop, you're at a disadvantage because
Yeah.
pretty much everyone else has a beast rig running the game at 250 frames.
Yeah.
And they have a 144 hertz or 240 hertz monitor. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's bad. And if you're not pro, it probably doesn't matter as much. So don't take it as an insult. But anyway, so looking at Group A, the big surprise was Rogue falling out. And then in Group B, we saw Splice fall out, which
I'm
was
impressed with Bread.
I was honestly not as impressed with Bread.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
like I mean, they did pretty much exactly
Is
as I
Fruity in
expected.
chat?
Fruity is not in chat. He went to sleep. Like I think Bread is a good team. Like I respect them as
Yeah.
a team. I just thought like they placed pretty much exactly where I had
Really?
them. Yeah.
Did they make it? No.
They made it to day 3. They
Yeah.
went out first day 3, I believe.
Okay, maybe they placed how you thought, but did they do how you were going to think? Because they 3-1 PSG, and then they lost
All
2
right, no,
to
they
3
they
to
didn't. They
Vitality.
went out just before day 3. So they lost to G2 in the last round
G2.
No.
of group.
I said they beat PSG 1-3 or
Oh, yeah.
3-1. Sorry.
3-1.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
no,
that's
probably.
That's not something to just ignore. That's,
No,
that's
they're
quite a-
definitely they're
And then
definitely a good
Vitality
team.
they lost 3-2.
But
That's what I'm saying.
before that, did you expect Bread to take on PSG and win?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Really?
I feel like Bread is a team that I was looking to almost make top 8, and they did exactly that. And and like PSG made it through. Like a lot of the upper round series, like there's not as much on the line because you still have another life. So I wasn't surprised that they beat PSG. Like
Right.
it's one of those series that I think can go either way.
It's true. It's true.
But
I don't know. For me, it's an upset, I think, because they're a brand new RLCS team, and PSG has kind of much more experience, especially
I
on
think they're going
lands.
to just keep getting better, dude.
I agree,
because-
but I still think that the experience and the fact that PSG has already been in RLCS for a while now, I think they should have probably taken it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I definitely can see that point of view. But Bread, they're like Sipical, he had never been on a plane apparently. That's what Sathu told me. I don't know how true that is.
That's what?
Sipical had never been on a plane before. Sathu
I don't know
wasn't
that.
even sure if he had ever been out of his hometown before.
Oh yeah.
His hometown. Come
That's
on.
what he said.
He's
These are the
he's
words of
homeschooled.
Sathu.
He's
These-
homeschooled, isn't he?
I don't know.
Sad Matthew.
No.
Sipical.
Sipical.
So I don't know. That's a good question. But those
Okay,
were the
Riddles,
words. That's
Riddles says it was first time out of the state.
okay.
I think hometown's pushing it a lot.
Okay, probably.
First time
Yeah,
out
no.
of his house.
But
Born and raised in his house.
yes. So, but anyway, so that was my thing. Is like I was wondering how much that was going to affect Sipical and Bread because not only was it their first land, first time being on a plane, first time
First
out of the
jet lag.
country, first time having jet lag. I thought
lot of
it would
firsts.
probably affect them, but I think they did well. Like if I'm Bread, I'm happy with the result, right? I'm
I
not-
would be too.
Yeah.
for sure.
How can you be mad?
But then, like, obviously, Team Echo Zulu taking out Triple Trouble. We didn't get to see that on stream, but that was the beginning of Team Echo Zulu's insane thing. Also, to note, TSM falling to MCon Esports. That was a huge surprise. MCon, I don't think we even got to see them on stream. They went out shortly after.
That is wild. Do you think that probably has to do with like TSM getting complacent? I think I want to go back to the fact that a lot of it boils down to what play styles you meet on your run to the finals. I think that is becoming more important in Rocket League when all of these teams are becoming so good at what they do.
Yeah, and honestly, like a lot of the point was made. I don't know how much I necessarily agree with this, but Achieves was talking about how pro teams, especially in EU, used to do Gfinities all the time and get experience playing these bubble teams in Gfinity. and they don't play Gfinity anymore,
Oh,
so they
that's
might
true.
get caught by surprise. I don't know how much I believe that.
Is it true that Gfinity went out of business or something? Went
They
bankrupt?
they like had a big loss. I think it was like
Oh.
$5 million loss or something on the books,
Not
which
good.
it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go out of business.
Okay.
But yeah, so that happened. TSM getting knocked out by MCon, and Triple Trouble also falling out. So those were two big surprises. Mouse Sports going out early.
What is Mouse Sports roster? They have
so
a lot
it's
now?
it's Alex, it's Tigray, and a lot. And Gibbs was pretty savage. He was just referencing results, and he was dogging on him a little bit. Nothing, I would say, unprofessional, but Tigray ended up like blocking him on Twitter and tweeting about how analysts were unprofessional.
I think that's ridiculous because a lot of the players criticize the casters, but it's the casters' job.
I'm going to add
It's
more
literally
time.
their job.
I'm going to add more time to this segment.
Sure.
Go for it.
because we need it.
It's literally the caster's job to sit there and look at what they see and draw conclusions from it, or some sort of assumptions at the very least. And if the facts speak for themselves, the players shouldn't be getting offended over something like that.
Yeah, no, it's you just have to not take that at face value. Like if you're a player, there's people are going to talk about you. Like you have to steel yourself to
Part
that,
of being
right?
a celebrity.
And especially if you're trying to be a professional in the scene and represent an organization, tweeting stuff like that is not going to really do you any favors. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like Freaky. I think he's starting to realize it because he tweeted like, "Hey guys, I'm going to get my mind back in the game." Like a lot of times as a player, you just zone it out, right?
And it makes sense. It makes sense though, because these are young guys like bursting into the spotlight, and suddenly a lot of people are very critical of them. And exactly what?
Mist is in the chat. Also, Shock wants an interview. Let's do this.
Should we bring him in?
Whoa.
All right,
Dude,
we'll bring
we
him in.
have to.
We can bring him in. I think what we could do is if Shock wants, or
He does.
So we could give Shock the mic for like a little bit of time, and then Mist to come on and get a little bit of time.
Oh my God!
Not at the same time,
Oh, no,
obviously.
no,
I think, and also
it's
I
just
would encourage
spicy
them
as
to
fuck
just like
anyways.
put out their points of view just to hear both sides of the
Yeah,
argument.
Sure, that would be great.
Because like from my experience with that kind of stuff, there's always two sides to every story.
Yes,
and
from
so
what I read, I mean, it just doesn't make sense from his ex-teammate's point of view.
I don't know if you guys know, Mist posted a response.
Yes, I didn't get a chance
right
to
before.
read that.
see
I
it.
read it on the way here. Obviously not while driving. But
Okay. All right. Well, we'll take a look at that. Well, let's quickly cover the rest of DreamHack. But anyway, Team Echo Zulu was pretty amazing. You'll have to go check those guys out. They had an incredible run to make it to day 2. It was so fun. They 3-0'd Ghost Gaming on stream. They beat a ton of RLCS teams. They're like a rank A team in Europe. Rank A. And it was pretty remarkable to see them.
We should probably also cover like Dignitas themselves. You know what I mean? I think that.
Oh yeah, we had a
I
few
was gonna
things
say-
that I wanted to see. Like
Merci mec qui m'a
Here.
flip.
this was look at this. This was Fairy Peak walking in the background.
Really fast, a lot of opportunities.
Oh my God!
He's on the ground. Defense,
Scrub doesn't help.
squads in
K-Dot
there.
doesn't help.
Vitality just
Look at him. He's
beat
like,
passes all it took to score and
look at this. He's holding his shit.
passes all it took to score.
No one's helping him.
Oh my God!
Look at watch. Just pause right here. Look at this. Oh, his friends. He said, "Call a penalty, ref. Call it." Oh my God, that was
This
amazing.
is Rocket League, not soccer.
Passes all it took to score. And
Scrub. Yeah, CJ helps him up.
really made it a game at the end. It was something else.
So that was pretty incredible. That was pretty incredible. And then viewership, 60K peak wasn't anything too insane. I think a pretty good Rocket League event. And then for me, a big surprise was how good Savage was.
Oh, Fire
I
is
wasn't
in
really
here, too.
expecting Savage to be that insane. They kind of like I was worried about their mental fortitude because
Wait, Savage or
Savage, yeah.
Okay.
I was worried that they would get tilted easily and go out a little earlier. But
Maybe.
they played really well. I was really impressed with them.
I think Dignitas made some incredible adjustments just to fit Yukio in, because the biggest thing was they didn't have K-Dop to score from mid nearly as much. Yukio sits in different areas when he's prepared for a pass, and I think Violent Panda recognized that. And instead of going straight to like an infield pass, he was like doing the backboard a little bit more, and I think that's what really brought them together
Yukio
again.
likes to play on the walls a lot.
Yeah.
Like Yukio is on the walls all the time. So yeah, it was pretty fun to see Dignitas win it all, though. Like the dynasty coming back, getting the victory. I was really hoping to see NRG Dignitas in the finals, but Vitality, they shellacked NRG the final 3 games of the series, 5-1, 2-1, 2-0, or 2-0, 1-0, shutting them out the final 2 games. But still, I think NRG is an incredibly consistent team. They perform best out of any North American team. So I think Garrett is probably happy about staying on that roster.
Yeah.
What are you smiling at?
Oh, Rapid.
Oh, what's happening in chat?
He's just
Everything's happening
Everything's
in chat right now.
happening in chat
Everyone-
right now? Oh, my gosh.
Rapid is
Everyone's ready to go
one of the-
balls deep into this next segment.
All right,
Yes.
yeah, well, we're all right. We were just
sorry.
gonna
So
cover
excited
it,
right now. This is like the best shit ever.
All right. So anyway, Dignitas, they won it all. You guys should go back and check out the VODs. A lot of good stuff. Flip side almost beat Vitality. That game that series was kind of just
Yes.
very scrappy from Flip side. I thought a lot of really scrappy goals, but still a respectable performance. Top 8, especially in this tournament with how many teams there were, was pretty nasty. But anyway, we're going to move on into the next segment. This segment, we are going to be talking about Shock and Afterthought. So Afterthought was a team that got that qualified for WSOE and got to go to Vegas, played in Vegas, and they were pretty good. Like they were a team that a lot of people were expecting to come in, perform really well, maybe even have a shot at getting into the RLCS if they play up to their potential. But today, 11 days before the signups close,
Well,
That's
yesterday.
rough.
Yesterday.
11 days.
that is
Or
rough.
yesterday. Was this yesterday? Okay, yeah, it was yesterday.
It's happening.
Shock was dropped. So this is what he posted a tweet longer. That's I'll try to read it quickly. He says, "Heartbroken beyond repair. This post comes 3 hours after crying in disbelief as to how I can be treated this way. This is an explanation as to this will be an explanation as to what just happened to me and the entirety of the experience. I don't understand, never will understand the rationale behind what they did and why they did it. So I don't think I'm going to read the whole thing, but essentially what he was saying was he was invited into a Discord and dropped, and he wasn't really given any reasons is what he was saying. And he goes to say things like, the people who I considered some of my best friends online just tore my heart out, ripped it to shreds. It was like deja vu, what happened to me 2 seasons ago. Hawkster Miss Bailey spoke a word to me. They knew what they were doing is fucked up. Nothing justifies their decision. I don't care if the best player in the world offered to team with them right now. It doesn't change the fact that you don't do that to another human being, especially a friend." So some of this stuff that I saw here, and I'll post the tweet longer in chat so you guys can go ahead and read it and get your own opinions. But a couple things. So, one, I can understand being upset,
Oh, yeah.
right? I can
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, I can definitely understand being upset. And I think there's ways to, like, I don't think if you're being on a team, like, you can't have a team based on friendship, I believe. Like, I think it's good to have good chemistry, but being friends with somebody is not a reason that you won't get dropped.
I mean, that depends on, like, your definition of, like, being friends with someone. I mean, you can't just barely stand your teammate, you know. It's just
Right?
work,
Like,
you know what
if
I mean?
you're going to be, I think just because you're friends with somebody doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to be dropped, right?
Yes,
Like, when
I
you're
agree
on
with
a
that.
team with people and the goal is to make RLCS or to make the best team possible, sometimes there's going to have to be difficult decisions that get made.
Yes.
And this situation, like, it's all about how you do it, right? And that's something that we don't really have any visibility
Yes.
on.
And that's what I was gonna say is like it's not the way, or it's like not what they did, but it's how they did it,
Yes.
how they executed it that made this such an awful thing for
And
Shock.
so like, this is going to be the difficult part, right?
Yeah.
Because how are we ever going to know how it
Yeah.
actually happened?
You don't.
So we
mean-
can hear
we
can
hear
hear both
his
sides
side,
of
we
the
hear
story.
this side,
So
but
we
like-
can hear,
are we gonna?
we
are
can
gonna,
hear both sides
we'll
of the
probably
story.
need more time.
Yeah,
Yes,
we will.
And if there is another twit longer from Mist, maybe somebody can post it here.
Yeah. If someone, hold on, let me permit Reddles. Reddles, post the Mist's tweet.
Yeah, I want to. Okay, Shock actually just DM'd me as well. Moopy told me to DM you. I'm ready whenever you are here. All right,
wrong
so we can get
Gyro.
we can get the response from him in person, and we can talk to him really quick. I also would like to get Mist's point of view here. But also, one thing I do want to say is, Shock, if you're still in here listening,
Okay, it's right there.
we would love to bring you in here and get your point of view and get your thoughts and
He
be able
DM'd
to.
you on Discord. I already
Yeah,
talked to him.
I know. I'm just saying, I don't want this to turn into a name, like anybody naming, anybody flaming, or anything like that. Just coming on here, you can talk about what happened and give your perspective, but let's not turn this into a flaming session or burn anybody, okay? So that being said, we can bring him in here. Grant, you'll have to do that on the computer. I will send Shock the link. Actually, I think I can. Oh, you'll have to press join the interview room one. Actually, I can do it. No, you have to do it.
Interview room 1.
Yep.
There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
All right. Shock is with us here. Shock, previously from Afterthought. We posted his Swit Longer in chat, but he was dropped from Aftershock or Afterthought. And he's here with us giving his side of the story. And Shock, thank you for coming in and taking the time, man.
Yeah, no problem.
So anyway, why don't you just tell us kind of from your own point of view what exactly happened in this past day with your squad?
Okay. So I forget the exact time yesterday. I believe it was around 8 o'clock Central, something along those lines. And I got a call on Discord from Fire, Mist, and Hoxer. So I joined up, and I was completely blindsided when Fire said that if they think it was in their best interest to look for new thirds. And I thought it was actually really, I thought it was absurd. I laughed at first, and I said, all right, you can stop trolling. What's up? And then I sat there in silence for about a minute or 2 minutes. And then I asked, are you serious? And again, it was just silence. And then I asked, am I getting kicked? And all I get is a yes from Fire. Most of the call is Hoxer and Mist sitting in silence while I talk to Fire. It's kind of crazy that my own teammates wouldn't even talk to me. They were ashamed. I could tell very easily.
So I mean, I can definitely know, I know from, like, I've been dropped from teams before. I've been a person to tell somebody that they're not on a team. I know it can be really difficult. So, I think from my point of view, though, I want to ask: were there previous times where you guys, like, did you ever see this coming or have moments where there were clashes with the team? Like, do you think this came out of nowhere, or do you really think this was something that was building?
I truly was blindsided. It came out of nowhere. I I thought it was a joke because I couldn't even see it ever possibly happening. We had no altercations, no arguments before that.
Well, I have a question. Sorry to cut you off, but
Sure.
When you played, do you think on the team there was just kind of this idea that, we didn't win, but like we could have done better, we know we could have, or was there anything that felt off to you? Because perhaps on the field is where they kind of started making their decisions.
Our scrim results were fine in that aspect. Literally the last scrims we did pretty exceptional, actually. And I never got any indication in comms before, during, or after that I was doing something wrong, that I was making them feel uncomfortable. I can say confidently that although I'm not perfect, and sometimes I do let tilt get into my comms, that I'm a very respectful teammate, and that I don't make anyone feel bad about what they're doing. They put in Mist Twit Longer something about how I critique them mid-series. I don't do that. The most I do is in between games, I suggest new things we could do if the scrim isn't going well. Something like, we need to dribble out of the corners more, or they're rushing the ball up, let's keep it low to the ground. I do that kind of thing. I would never coach them individually till it said, Hawks, you need to do this better. Mist, you need to do this better. I never did that.
So do you think this was a situation, I mean, going back and looking at your tweets, you had Fire added as a sub on the squad back on the 4th of February. Do you think, or is he going to be like? Do you have any insight on who their third is going to be? Did they announce that it is going to be Fire? Do you know what the situation is?
It won't be Fire. In that same call where they told me it was kicked, I asked them to at least tell me who their new third was going to be. They wouldn't tell me. The most I got is that a spot would be opening up from another team, and that I should be okay to make RLRS, which is some sort of weird justification. It doesn't really make sense to me, and it doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, no, it definitely sucks, right? 11 days before being dropped, but it's like Pashy has done that to so many people,
Yeah.
So, and he's done it to teammates who have ended up okay, Shock. And I know I watched you play, man. You are a good player, and I think that you will be in the RS one day, and you're going to have your shot. And as much as this situation sucks, man, you got to keep your head up, and just word of advice too is like it's always good to put your perspective out there, but it's also good, man. Just take some time. Like when stuff like this happens, like take some time, talk to people about it, and
Might be a little hard.
Yeah,
considering.
It's a little hard to take time in the current situation, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I just mean like before ever putting stuff out publicly, right? Because maybe there's still opportunities to build bridges back, and even like going into the next situations, I think it's just going to be better in the long run. In my opinion, just trying to keep stuff, at least
It's happened. There's nothing else really you can do.
There's
at
nothing
this point,
you really
right?
can do.
So gotta grow from it.
Yeah, but I think that's the main thing is this is going to be a growing experience for you, man, and just keep your head up. Like keep playing. Like you as a player, all you can do is grind. There's nothing you can do to change anything at this point. And I saw you play at WSOE, and you got a bright future, man. Just stick with it, okay?
Thank you. And just, I guess, one last thing I want to say is that I respect the ability for Hawks and Mist to choose to not have me on the team. What I don't respect is the way in which they handled it and the lack of communication. So to them, if they're watching, I want you to know that I'm okay that you kicked me. I'm not okay that you did it in such a poor manner.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. Shock, thank you so much for coming on here and giving us your point of view on the matter. It definitely sucks, man. And I hope you find a good team. There's still a few days left before RLRS, but you're a solid player, man. So just keep your head up, keep playing, and I hope to be casting you one day.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shock.
All right, bye.
So that was Shock. So Shock, my heart goes out to him,
Yeah,
right? Like
he's
it's
taking
a
it
terrible.
really well.
Yeah, there's a lot of
happened
people who
before.
would take it
Really?
way worse.
Yeah, 2 seasons ago, the same thing happened to him.
Oh,
He
This is
mentioned
why
that
this
too.
what makes this all the more fucked.
oh,
Yeah.
I did not keep up with
He,
that.
he said that in his tweet longer, and it's like I think it's just going to be one of those growing experiences, right? Like, it's something that you don't really have any control over.
Okay, so did you pull up Mist Suite?
I have not.
Okay, Reddles, can you post it one more time? I'll permit you again.
I added more time onto the clock. But it's hard to give advice
Yes,
to people,
in the
right?
middle of it.
Like especially in the middle of it. But from my experience in all facets of life, when you are really upset about something, that's when you don't want to talk about it, right? Like don't want to put stuff out there. And I think what he put out there wasn't bad, right? I don't think it was like it wasn't something that I would feel really hurts his stock as a player.
Yes,
but
I
you
think
just it's a tightrope to walk.
He definitely kept the personal stuff and like all of that out of it. It sounded like he was just laying down the facts, and I think I really admire his professionalism about the whole thing. So
yeah, I think in my opinion, I probably wouldn't have put a bunch, or like I probably like would have made a twit longer. Like I'm a very politically correct person, so. I think it's also one of those things where it might be therapeutic for him to do it. I would just be worried that if another prospective team is out there looking at stuff like this, it might be a red flag, right? So, but a lot of players in the scene are young.
For some people,
it's going to be a growing experience.
For some people, Twitter is a therapist.
Yeah, that's kind of
Some people
true.
don't have anything else.
All right. We also have Mist, who said who
Oh wait,
wants
you
to
gotta
come in
read
here.
his tweet longer first.
All right.
Yeah, let's do that and then bring him in, right?
All right.
It's in chat if you scroll up.
All right. I'm gonna go check it out. But I mean, it was a tough situation. I don't think he handled it poorly. So I just need to get I just am always a fan of not posting twit longers. But sometimes you get your hand forced. So our side of the story. This will be my first time reading it, so I'm just going to read it out right here. And then we have Mist also in chat that we can bring him in afterwards.
Dapper says, close some tabs, man.
Close them. No, these are all the tabs that we have to cover in the show.
Yeah, fuck you, Dapper.
All right, so...
Oh, man.
All right, so first off, we made our decision mainly based on his overall attitude and its impact on the team dynamic and play. There were multiple reasons that led to him being asked off the team, but never once factored skill into our decision. So this is basically saying it wasn't his ability, it was his attitude. Regarding the discussion about his getting his hours up and his reply, but after a brief talk, I told him, I understand and respect that I'll get my hours up, which I proceeded to do over the past 5 days. He only added 5 to 6 hours and 4 6-man series over the course of 5 days. Seeing your teammate not put in the work they expect from you is incredibly frustrating and demoralizing, even though he has hours on his Smurf. Playing low grand champs with friends when probably not even trying is not valuable practice for the RLRS. So this is just posting screenshots of his hours played. He is being hypocritical when he talks about his transparency. Being hypocritical when he talks about transparency. He was reluctant to converse about his Smurf along with a girl he was talking to, which was distracting from his playing time. This led to a lack of trust between the team, and his priorities were not focused on the team. In Scrim, he tilts easily, which brings down the team morale. He also critiques us in the middle of the series, which also brings negative energy. This all leads to not wanting to continue teaming. He is quick to give criticism, but is opposed to take any. His personality is also destructive to the team spirit. In his plead, he mentioned that he can change in time. If he can't get his hours up in nearly a week, what makes us believe he can change his whole attitude in a day? He also previously known for not changing when it mattered most. To readdress this hypocrisy, Shock says in his tweet, nothing justifies their decision. I don't care if the best player in the world offered to team with them right now, if it doesn't change the fact that you don't do that, or it doesn't change the fact that you don't do that to another human being, especially to a friend. To give some context, Shock wanted to team with normal times for last RLRS under 10 days before signups closed. Shock messaged normal time saying he would leave the established team if a rank X offer arose. If given the chance, Shock would have left normal in a heartbeat. This would have left Hawksair normal without a third. And since Shock had normal and Hawksair wait until 2 days before play-ins because he was on vacation. So he's just posting this, or posting the chat that showed, or that confirmed that. In conclusion, we are aware that this is a shitty situation for him. We handled it professionally as possible. We also answered every question to the best of our ability. Our decision was not based on skill, but purely personality, attitude, and team chemistry. It was obviously a mistake to involve Fire because it should have been handled by Hawksair and I, but we thought he could be a valuable asset in maintaining a calm atmosphere. We wish Shock the best and have no ill will towards him. So I guess I'm going to give my thoughts after reading both of these. I think it's very likely that Shock probably has, like everyone, there's a lot of people who have attitudes when they're playing, right? It's like just sighing when someone a goal goes in, like very small things that you feel can be small that can really bother other people, right? I think what is very clear is that Hawksair and Mist did not like playing with Shock, didn't like his attitude.
Because regardless of results or anything, if things were going smoothly, they would keep him, right?
Yeah.
So something was off. Whether or not they could have said something, maybe they're not confrontational people. Maybe that's where a third party is necessary. I guess Fire picked up on this and went, hey, guys. To
me, a lot of this, though, is it's difficult, right? Because a lot of times what people are going to do is they're going to let stuff stay bottled up until they can't take it anymore, and then they're going to drop you, right? But in a perfect world, someone will be like, hey, Moopy, you're tilting us in comms. If you don't change and address this, we might have to remove you from the team, right?
Yeah.
Then that might be a kick in the pants to where you might actually start changing, right? So that's mainly where Shock has the problem, right? Is that he didn't think that the problem was big enough, and then he was just kicked. But it's understandable because I think a lot of the people who play this game are young, and they would rather wait till it's too much and kick you than have that conversation.
It's rough because it's what people don't understand about a 3-person dynamic. You only have like probably one other friend to go to, which is your other teammate. And what ends up happening is it's kind of a 2
This is why you need a
one
manager.
situation.
This
Yes,
is a perfect situation why
It's
you
true.
need a manager. Because then Mist and Hoxer could have gone to Moopy, who's now the manager, and been like, Moopy, Shock.
We're complaining about you, but you're also the
Yeah,
manager.
no. Okay, we'll use Grant. We'll use Grant as the manager. So Grant could be the manager, and like Hoxer and Mist go to Grant and be like, hey, Shock, he's not putting in the hours. He's his behavior in these recent scrims and in these past few days doing XYZ, it's not really acceptable. And if he doesn't change, his spot's on the line.
And
then Grant can go
Yeah.
to Shock and be like, hey, man, I sat down and talked with Hoxer and Mist. And they really want you to let you know, like, you're in jeopardy if you don't start addressing these things, right? And then they don't ever have to deal with the awkwardness of talking right to Shock.
Simultaneously, since it is 4 people now in this equation, now there can be a more equal, like 2 people are addressing a problem, but 2 others are going, well, hold on. Maybe you're not looking at this like logically, or maybe you're rushing to conclusions here. Now the person that the other 2 have problems with has someone that they can look to for help.
They're saying that they did have a manager, but it was Shock's brother.
Oh,
So
okay.
that kind of
I was
like
gonna-
you don't
I was
really
gonna say, but-
you don't really want somebody who has a conflict of interest being your manager.
That's not good.
So that's ideally it's a neutral third party, right? It's the same reason why I don't necessarily think Chrome would be a great manager for NRG, is because he's trying to be friends with everybody. But he's a great coach, right?
Yes.
But a manager is something different. It's help you to manage the relationships on the team,
Yes.
the politics on the team, help keeping the team's mentality in a good spot.
Right.
I think this is why, or they would have greatly benefited from a neutral third-party manager.
Real quick,
and
I
I'm
just
going to
wanna
add more
say-
time onto the clock so we can bring
you
Mist
have
in.
to. And I just want to say about Mist's tweet longer, like his response. His response was good. He made some great points. He obviously had evidence. The thing I want to say about it though is that like, I'm sure some of this is true, like some of it's not true, whatever. Like like you said earlier, we're never gonna know. But it's just like all they told Shock was like, oh, you need to put in more hours. That's all they gave him, and then they dropped him without any
true.
other piece of information that he put in his post, which isn't cool. And it's like,
It's just one of those things, though, where like I think this is going to be a learning experience for everyone,
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
Because of course everyone has justifications, right? I think everyone here,
Or they
there's
wouldn't have
no
done it.
right and wrong party
they wouldn't
in
have
my
kicked the
opinion.
player they have
right?
absolutely no problems
Yeah,
with.
there's no right and wrongs, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you can look at one side and be like they're in the right 100%. There's going to be gray area, but I think what is a good lesson to learn here is that if you're playing on a team with people, you need to try to control your emotions, be as professional as possible. You need to also be making sure like you're asking your teammates, hey man, is there something I can work on? Is there something that you think I can improve on, so that it's not a shock to you if they come in and have negative feedback or criticism.
Right.
And then also do your best as a team to get a neutral third-party manager, so that if you find it awkward giving somebody critical feedback, that you can tell that to the manager and have them deliver it, because then you don't have to deal with the awkwardness of the conversation.
Yeah.
Obviously, it won't solve all problems, but it can solve a decent amount of
And
them.
it's difficult to find a good manager, though, because you need someone that has at least some understanding of Rocket League and some understanding of how to mediate a situation. That's not easy to find, especially when most of the people that are playing the game are pretty young. So the managers that are out there, they are like the diamond in the rough.
I'm willing to be a manager for any teams out there, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't give
also
a
willing
shit
to be a
about the game
manager.
anymore.
Yeah.
So hi.
All right, so I sent Shock the invite. We'll see if he wants to come on. Obviously, we read his whole twit longer.
Shock?
No, Mist. Did I say? I said
yeah,
Mist, right?
You said Shock.
Oh, I meant to say Mist.
Okay.
So I sent Mist the information for the Discord. I also read everything off. So if he wants to come in and add some more in there, or if we want to talk to him more or ask him any questions, he's free to. So we'll just see if he pops in here. But if he did, okay. So we're going to be dragging in Mist. I'm going to bring him in right now. Hey, Mist, welcome to Rush Hour, man. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Damn, that's loud.
So anyway, can you lower the
I got
volume
it,
a little
I got
bit? All right, perfect. So anyway, Mist, we had the chance to hear from Shock. We read the Twitlongers. Obviously, nobody, I feel, was at 100% in the right, but I can understand your perspective and what you were writing about on your Twitlonger. Is there anything else you wanted to outline about the situation for people who are interested?
Just want to go over the coaching aspect,
Okay. Yes.
the mid game critiques.
Okay, so this
You
is
said-
what
I
you were
don't know what
saying
to say
of one of the
again, but-
points of feedback where you felt like it was being negative to the team's energy.
Yeah, because in the middle of scrims, we would just we would be playing, and then just one of us mess up, and then we just get coach, whatever, not coach, but just told what to do, and it's just it's just hard to work off that.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. For you guys in this situation, somebody was saying you did have a team manager. Were these points of feedback for Shock? Was this something that you guys tried to give him feedback on, and he wasn't being receptive to the criticism on things like those mid-game critiques? Did you have a manager that you could talk to, or was this something that kind of built up to a boiling point and you just decided you couldn't have that kind of energy on the team anymore?
Well, yeah, we had a manager, but I don't know, it's Shock's brother, so I don't think he wants to tell him, but
Yeah, that's
I mean,
rough.
the only thing we told him about is hours, and it's just really demoralizing seeing him only put in 6 over 5 days.
For sure. And I can understand that point of view. I think just from an outsider's perspective, and I'm not going to be critical, or I'm not trying to be critical, but from an outsider's perspective, a lot of times when you have a team and you guys are working together towards a common goal, I think it would be very beneficial to try to take emotions out of it when you're giving constructive criticism and give people an opportunity to adjust, and at least that they know that what their position is in jeopardy. And if it's something that, if it's a situation where you're really uncomfortable with that, that's when it is best to go to a manager. Obviously, you guys had one, but it was Shock's brother, so that definitely complicates
Yeah.
things.
And was there something that, you said that there was coaching in game, but was there also a poor atmosphere besides that, or did that kind of create the poor atmosphere when you're actually practicing or playing in tournament?
I mean, it definitely contributed, obviously. It just it was wasn't positive at all, and when we were scrimming, I was kind of just dreading it because it wasn't fun, it wasn't helping. We were just doing the same thing, just playing, not trying to improve.
Okay, so Mist, if you
playing
guys
to
were
play.
having these problems, why not just say, "Hey, Shock,
I mean,
we
I
don't-
can
we don't like that you
understand it,
guys-
right? I think a lot of players who are in the game, they're not necessarily they're pretty young, but two, also it's talking about that stuff is difficult, right? Talking about criticizing players is definitely difficult, and I can understand where you guys are coming from. I think just from the third-party neutral perspective, I 100% see where you're coming from. I 100% see where Shock is coming from. I think in the future for your teams, Mist, if you guys have the ability, you guys are an incredible team. All three of you guys as players are RLCS caliber players. You guys have that ability. I think the best thing for you moving forward, whatever team you're on, try to get a manager that is completely neutral and really use your manager to help you with that mentality side of things, right? Where when you guys he's helping you set up scrims. If you're having problems on the team, interpersonally, you work with your manager to deliver that feedback, and also trying to remain as professional as possible where you're not taking offense to feedback, because I know a lot of people, it is a difficult thing. It is a very difficult thing to receive critical feedback, but I appreciate you, Mist, coming on here and giving us your point of view. I think reading your Twitlonger, there's two sides to every story, so I don't think you ignore all the people who are saying crappy things on Reddit. Two sides to every story, but I think for you guys, just growing from this experience, moving on, you guys will be fine, and I look forward to seeing you compete to get into the RLCS. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with before we move on?
I think that's it.
All right.
Well, thank you, Mist. I really appreciate it,
Yeah,
man. And
thanks.
again, good luck. And I hope to see great things from you guys. And if you ever want if you ever want to just like talk about things, feel free to hit us up.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, yeah, see you, man. Thank you. All right, that was Mist,
So
everybody.
now the people are asking for fire interview.
fire interview? No. I'd rather get punched in the face.
Ooh.
Fire's just gonna come in here. He's gonna yell at us. Then we'll have to
Oh
ban
my
him from
God.
the Discord. But
This is for your own good, Fire. We're not bringing you in.
But no, I think like it's we got a lot of young players in the scene. Obviously, it's a shame, right?
Yeah.
Because it looks like this was an avoidable situation.
Yeah. But
you
it's important,
Nobody
though.
was perfect. Nobody handled it perfectly. But like, if you're a team out there watching this right now, and you're having the same problems, or you feel like you're in the same spot, you got to talk. Like, it's in your best interest to
Yes.
talk about it, right? Because now,
Communication's key.
yeah, Shock is not going to have a team. Hoxer and Mist are going to have to play with somebody that isn't like they're not going to
Yeah.
have like a lot of practice or experience with. So it's not a great situation for anybody. So guys, if you're out there, you've got a team, get a manager.
I think a
neutral
lot of
one.
people are going to take the advice, or not the advice, but learn from example and actually start going looking for manager, on Twitter. I wouldn't be surprised, and it'd be a really smart move to do so. But
For sure.
Yeah.
And so, like, I guess closing that one out, it's definitely a bummer. But I hope we get to see Shock, Hoxer, and Mist all continue to play. And
They
there's a
will.
lot of majors,
Yeah,
right? They're
yeah.
I bet we'll see all of them at Dallas on whatever teams they're on for DreamHack.
grudge match.
Yeah. I hope it's one of those things where maybe they can fix it, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Like maybe they can talk about it, but a lot of times people are going to be surprised too because they don't think they're in jeopardy, and then before you realize it, you're dropped. It's like
Well-
this is like basically like being dumped, right? This is basically like being dumped.
Yeah, but depends on like if one person is like, oh, everything is fine, but in this,
It happens all the time.
Yeah,
and the,
that's
and
true,
The,
that's
and,
true.
and the problem is communication, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to communicate to people, get someone as a manager who will do that for you. So, but I appreciate both Shock and Mist coming on, giving us both sides of the stories. At the end of the day, guys, don't trash talk anybody. Like, if you're on Reddit, I was reading these terrible comments on Reddit. Leaf was trying to come in and be a voice of reason, but it was be civil to one another, guys. Come
I
on.
don't think it was for what it was. I don't think it was that bad. I think people handled it pretty good, to be honest.
Dapper said Spuda and I would like to talk about our sides of the situation.
Dapper. All right, I'll bring Dapper on. I'll bring Dapper on, but Spoot is just about memes.
Not wrong.
I don't want that on here. All right. So anyway, Tainted Minds. Just a quick. We're definitely not going to spend all this money or time on it. We're going to actually. I'll just skip to the next topic. The freestyle.
Wait, so we're not spending any
don't-
time on Tainted
we
Minds?
have 6
I don't even know what
minutes.
happened to them.
So basically, they got picked up by, or like the organization got purchased, or like there was an investor, and now
Oh.
they're changing the icon. Their headquarters is moving to Sydney. So maybe that's going to have some.
I have no input on this.
Were they
know,
already
Yeah,
an
I didn't know
Oceanic
that
team?
Yeah. I know as much about Tainted Minds as this icon team. So same thing to me.
Gosh, I am totally screwing this thing up. 10 minutes. All right, there we go. That's about right. So the freestyle.
Yes.
That was kind of sorry for the hacky show. I wasn't honestly expecting Mist and Shock to come
Well,
on here.
that's
here
what
and
the
give us-
show's
Yeah,
about,
it was
right?
cool. It was cool to
Yeah.
provide them. Like you could hear directly from the people involved in the situation. I think that was really cool. And thank you to both Shock and Mist for coming on here and talking. But now the freestyle. Let's
Yes.
just interact with
we
chat.
we haven't really talked about the patch, and
That's right.
I haven't even gotten a chance to try it. Like, chat, what are the things that the patch has broken? I need to know.
Audio.
Audio.
Yeah.
Audio. I can't hear my boost.
That's every patch.
Yeah.
That's like a given at this
Yeah,
point.
audio, and then also
Champions Field's left kickoff is like wrong. Like
That-
either they moved the
I
pad or the
saw that.
positioning of the car. I checked today and like on stream.
How does
I
it feel
did it on
different?
stream. No, it's actually it doesn't feel
No,
different.
no.
It's actually
I realize
like moved.
that, but I'm just taking the opportunity to go. Well, what?
I mean, you
it-
still
what-
drive over it. It's just annoying.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Like, it would be cool to try out different kickoff positions. It's a chance to like look at it and go, oh, this isn't like that bad. It's different, and I'm uncomfortable with it. But I don't know. Should we
Okay,
think
hold on.
about different
Real
kickoff
quick.
The
positions?
fix for audio is you need to put settings back to default. Oh, I didn't know that. Also, I was having problems with some servers. Like I was getting like 120 to 150 ping on servers. Like I feel like something changed in the servers because I'm getting weird ping numbers that I've never gotten before.
Yeah.
Slybay said that the fix for the audio is that you just need to put the settings back to default.
Yeah, he
Why
just
would you
said
have to
that.
do that?
Oh.
That's annoying, though. Why do I have to do that?
But wait, settings to default?
You set you
Like
put
the
your
audio
settings
settings?
back to
like the
default,
volume?
Yeah, I assume.
and then you put it back to where you need it.
Oh, okay.
That's
well,
still stupid.
All right. I'll know then, I guess.
Dapper says, James, we're West. Our opinions are relevant. Come on now. Dude, like, I had some West games today that the server was pretty good, but then I also had some was pretty shit. So, like,
Yeah.
it's nothing
Sometimes
really
maybe
changed.
good,
I don't,
sometimes maybe
like,
shit.
I fucking hate this game. Like, God, I can't play on 120 ping. Like,
Yeah.
I have to play 6-mans in tournaments on 120 ping. I don't even bother.
It's ridiculous. But was there anything besides that? Any of the cars messed up? Any of the, like, I don't know. A lot of people around patch time say that, the heavy car bug.
Oh, there's something else. I'm Champ 3. I got placed in a Champ 3 Div 3 and 2s. That's fun. I'm like GC already, basically.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
I
Day
love
one.
patches.
Yeah,
Great.
no, I was playing with Bork today, and I was also playing with Large. So
Wait, Bork, like Dapper's teammate Bork?
yeah,
Oh, Dapper, man.
Oh. By
Yeah.
the way, yeah,
See how they do.
they are a team now.
yeah, that's another thing that we didn't talk about.
I
yeah,
think they're
Bork
gonna be
and
good.
Savvy and Dapper. Yeah, it's always been like Bork and Savvy, and they're like always picking up a new player like
Yeah.
every season. So I'm hoping Dapper can be the one that puts them over the top.
I wonder if, well, first of all, I think he really fits their aggressive like play style, but I'm thinking, did they need an aggressive player, and are they going to be able to like make it work? I think they are, and I'm interested to find out how
Let's
well
bring
it'll
Dapper
work.
on to get his side of the
Yeah,
story.
let's do it.
Do it.
Dapper,
Now.
come on, bro.
Dapper, get in the Discord.
Let's see here. I'm gonna invite Dapper. Dapper, I think, has the Discord, doesn't he?
I'm pretty sure he does.
He doesn't want to come on, does he? I don't have him on my. I can't invite him from my invite list.
No.
Wow, Dapper, you don't have James added on Discord?
I think he's on.
Snake.
Dude, I honestly don't know how to
He
use.
said he left.
I left.
Stupid bug.
Rip.
He left right now.
All right. Well, dang it, Dapper. Why would you do
He's
that?
like, oops.
Whoops. But yeah, they're going to be a very fast team, and I think that'll probably be advantageous against teams that need a little bit of time to set up their offense. Teams that like to dribble a little bit more, get the control of the ball. I think they are going to be phenomenal against teams like that. For instance, I would say EG.
Furtive got him in.
Oh,
Furtive got
nice.
him in. Oh, all right. Hey, join the the meeting room channel because I accidentally missed you. You'll have to join that channel as well.
We're in.
All right, Dapper, are you
Connecting.
there?
Oh, there it goes.
Hello, Dapper. Welcome to the stream.
Hello.
Oh, God.
Wait.
Hold on. Stop talking, please. You're hella
Dude, you
loud.
can just
I
change
got
the
it, I
volume
got it.
on this instead of everyone who comes in separately.
good.
But we'll do it next time.
Whatever.
All right, Dapper, welcome.
Hello.
Hey, man. So tell us about your new team.
We're nuts. Yeah.
What's the dynamic?
Yeah.
What's the dynamic? Where do you fit in?
You know, honestly, we're all just ball chasers, and we always like pass to each other, and we're just having like 7-man passing plays, and it's nuts. So yeah.
Really?
That's lit.
Have you
Trust.
guys? Who are you scrimming right now? Have you guys been able to get high quality scrims?
It's just like RLS, like level teams that are like gonna play qualifiers pretty much.
You feeling pretty confident?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I can't wait to see you play, homie. Like it's been forever since we've gotten to see you on stream, and I
Yeah.
feel like we're gonna see you in the qualifier stream.
No. I'm washed.
Come on, Dap.
Yikes.
Oh, you're just full-time streamer right now? Is that what you're saying?
I don't even know about that one, but sure.
All right. Would you should we bring Spuda in here too? I see him.
A team of ball chasers, it's momentum all over again. I see you, Jason.
Really?
He's throwing shade. No, it actually is, but we're not here. Trust me.
Dude, well, I think that you guys can bring the heat. I remember watching Bork and Savvy at Universal Open, and I think they almost beat Cloud9, or
Yeah.
they beat.
They're good.
Yeah. So it's just the dream.
I'm curious. Dapper, you're trying to make it back in through the play-ins. Like, what do you think keeps other players that drop out from trying again? Like, how come you still got this motivation that others seem to not have?
I don't know. Everyone's a quitter. That's it.
I like it. Bring in the heat.
Not throwing shade. Just yeah.
Oh, it's
I just don't
facts.
quit.
It's facts.
That's all it is.
So, are you guys going to be playing in any upcoming tournaments that will be able to see you see you guys in action on a stream, like a rivals tournament or anything?
Beyond on Monday.
Ooh.
Okay, Monday.
Okay.
All right, so
Have to wait 6 days.
stay tuned. All right, Dapper. Well, I hate to break it to you, man, but it's 8:31. That means we got to close out the stream.
What? No one's stopping you.
I know. Well, are you?
What?
James is stopping us, man.
Jesus.
He's got a bedtime, okay?
All right. Well, you know what, Dapper? If you go live right now, we can host you.